$10 to $14 a month. Well, that's a magic number. Charles, why don't you tell us what you were talking about, how that is an important number when you're looking at IoT services if you're an operator?
Yeah, so consumers want value for money, and when we look at consumers' purchasing habits, they really don't want to pay $40 for an all-inclusive home security system. But when you bring it down to $10 to $15 range, and our survey tests around $14.10, they will opt in on those type of services. So you can imagine as a service provider, if you go in and install a new set-top or a new gateway and you ask the home owner, for $14 a month, I can also install 3 cameras and 3 sensors to give you a home security system. Would you like me to do that when I'm here? The likelihood of the consumer doing that is very high, we think, right? More than 60% of people could potentially come into that. But also then you have the chance then to now onboard the user into a smart home experience and start building on new services on top of it. The magic then is that that's about $180 worth of capex for the operator, and then after 1 year it's fully paid off, and then the second year, third year, then you're starting to make money on your investment, which is where it's all about, what it's all about, right, from a making money perspective.
Well, and many things have changed just even in the last couple of years, but the ability to use the screens that are already in the home or in the person's hand.
Exactly, Ken. That's a key part of it, because without the use of the consumer's own smartphone or the consumer's own laptop, or more importantly even the TV, which is there, then you would have to invest maybe a couple of $100 in a particular panel or whatever to initiate the smart home function. But by offloading that cost to the user's smartphone or the TV, then you bring the capex investment down to the point where you just invest in the cameras or the thermostat, and you don't have to invest in the other piece. One thing I've also been mentioning is that whether you put the IoT hubbing function for low power Bluetooth or Zigbee type functions, do you put that into a separate small standalone device, or do you integrate the chips into existing access point set-tops or gateways? By integrating just the chips into the access points, extenders or gateways, you lower the cost again, right? But you're committed then maybe to giving every customer a chance to onboard into an IoT environment, which we think is the way to do it, right? It is a little bit of extra capex to invest, but if you own the Wi-Fi waves, you own the Bluetooth, you own the Zigbee waves as a home perspective, you should be at that $14.10 be able to drive 50% of your users kind of coming into the fold for a new service, right?
It also seems like it gives you opportunities to turn on those services remotely later if they decide to actually do the service.
Exactly, and it's the inertia of getting started. I mean, and it's not just the consumer's own thermostats and lights, right? Once you build up the infrastructure for, say, Bluetooth, you're now into the medical space. You can now offer health applications because most of the health products actually connect on a secure Bluetooth connection. So, for example, aging in place, typically people get a bunch of sensors that they put on 2 or 3 times a day, like a pressure monitor, weighing scales, a blood pulse oximeter. Those typically connect without a user interface over Bluetooth to a hub, and then that information is securely connected to a care portal, and then people who are caring for the person look in at the other side, like physicians and so forth. So that starts with a Bluetooth connection, right? Without the Bluetooth, you can't do it, right? So again, that investment of putting those new radios into existing devices like set-tops, extenders, and access points really lowers the capex cost, but it gives you the potential now to start pulling in these new areas of revenue opportunity.
Now, you have to worry about HIPAA compliance and that sort of thing, or?
Yeah, that's always the question that's asked, right? So my understanding, and I think it is the right understanding, is that the care portal is the kind of cloud piece of it, right? So what happens is that the device connects securely using protocols to a hub in the home, and that's securely sent to the care portal's portal. So that's not the HIPAA piece, right?
Okay.
That's just...
It's over a VPN.
Exactly. It's an SSL connection, right? There's no username passwords. It's keyed directly to you, and it automatically connects without typing in. The HIPAA side of it is really northbound of that, where the care portal into the physician diagnostic space is there. So if you are concerned about the ability to capture the information, which is really a packet, right? Because an MSO or an operator just provides connectivity. They don't provide any interrogation of what the packet is. Our solutions can optimize the robustness of the delivery and the reliability of the delivery, right? So we can do things to make sure that the packets are sent, we can correlate them, we can alarm if they're not. And if anybody does, everybody gets sued in the whole process, even the battery makers, if a device, right? But, to move liability away from you, you can clearly show through solutions that we can build that the information was sent, right? And that's all you have to do, right? Because you provided your part of it, right? That's not that hard to do.
Well, and even just from a personal standpoint, you were just telling me a story of how you use it with your father.
Yeah, I think camera applications have a lot of future applications. As at the moment, you're seeing that the cameras are increasing in resolution, right? Which is a problem, plus maybe a positive for the industry. The problem is that they're going to 4K and 2 megabits a second, constantly being sent up the upstream. The positive then is that information now is much higher resolution. So new applications around health can be developed using images, right? So has a person fallen? Are they even now? I know that the guys who are working on this stuff can actually track someone's cadence and someone's behavior and posture and just general demeanor over time to see are they disimproving or things happening or whatever. To your point, Ken, I use the application for monitoring my father, right? He's on his own. He's 3,000 miles away. And I have a couple of cameras that allow me each day to monitor him. So I don't even have to look at the cameras because I get alerts when he opens the door to his kitchen. I get alerts when he closes it at night when he goes to bed. So even the the continuation of these emails and the way they come in shows me each day that he's alive, he's eating, he's doing well, and whatever. And that's a comfort. I mean, it's a niche application, but as many of us care for older parents, and we're not in the same city as them, these applications are going to become more widespread, I think.
That makes sense. And one of the applications that we literally heard, is a little bit about voice as an interface to these smart devices. Do you want to comment on that?
Yeah, and I'll also make a comment on things like Wi-Fi, right? Because if you look at Wi-Fi, the problem's split 50-50, right? 50% of Wi-Fi problems are education. And 16% of Wi-Fi problems are things like, what's my Wi-Fi password? And on the education and what's my Wi-Fi password, the best way to solve that problem without having to take a call in a customer support desk at $7 an hour or whatever, and bad customer satisfaction, is to provide a voice input to what's my Wi-Fi password and some visual feedback or some audio feedback, TV or back through the speakers in the device. So it has a big, huge benefit for education and for stopping the CSR calls, right? When a smart assistant is doing self-healing activities or engaging with you without having to make a phone call. On the integration in devices, we think that the smart assistant has value for functions like integration in set-top box, where you can now, because of the accuracy of voice solutions, you can reliably say NBC, or you can reliably say show me all the Tom Hanks movies, right? That's a common application in many MSOs today. But you can also now engage in other things around the smart home, as we saw today on the panel, and being able to create IFTT or scene applications where I'm going on vacation, right? You just say I'm leaving, I'm going on vacation, right? And then all the cameras turn on. And then when you say I'm home, all the cameras turn off, right? Because the camera application is very vitriol when people think about I'm in the home versus out of the home. Everybody wants it on when you're out of the home. Less people want it on when you're in the home, right? So being able to use voice and being able to do simple things like when you say cameras off or I'm home, that things are shut down. I mean, those applications are the way to do it, rather than go to all your cameras and log onto some web page and click on turn off or pull out the wires or whatever, right? So we see voice as being an enabler of the whole smart home solution.
Excellent. Well, Charles, it's been great catching up with you. Thank you.
Thank you.